Welcome back to Society Case Files. My name is Robert, and today I'm going to build Lucius the Eternal, an Emperor's Children character. If you like this kind of content and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, maybe even hit a like. Anyway, beside that, we're going to dive right in. This character was pretty easy all around. I'd give him a pretty low difficulty rating except for the whip. It was very difficult to get it on there because there's only really two contact points. One right next to his hand, and then another on the rebar of his basically basing material, the stone he's standing on. Now the trick about that is that you have to kind of get it to stick on both points, and that means that when you put him on that base, he needs to be on there properly and to the instructions if you want to use that part to connect it to. Something interesting from the Warhammer channel when they talk about painting him, they really want you to do it in sections. Basically, they want you to not put the whole thing together, to do the head separately, the body separately, and then put on the whip and put him on his base later. Now, obviously, I didn't do that, and I will be painting him hopefully on the channel even, because I got a few good ideas for it. And I'll show it probably isn't that big of a deal to have assembled him completely. But if you are the type of person that likes to do sub-assembly painting, then this guy would probably be a good candidate for it. Anyway, that's enough yammering for now. I'm going to hush up until the end, and I'll talk to you in a few minutes. there he is, Lucius the Eternal. As you can see, the whip is attached to the rebar there, and we've got it nice and secure. And also, you'll notice there's lots of tubes that go into him. That tongue was separate. And if you did subassembly the way they suggest, then that tongue would only be coming out of the mouth. It might have even been easier to put on, to be honest. But it's not attached to the chest, which in the instructions it kind of is. Probably one of the most challenging parts was that pommel piece that goes over the sword. I couldn't figure out if it went on the inside or the outside at first. I saw a picture, looked at it, took a little more time and figured it out, but all around, not a big deal. As far as the basing goes, it turned out to not be too much of a challenge either. You just had to figure out which little peg on the bottom of his feet was going to go in it. I thought it was the heel at first. Obviously, there was one on the front, and that's how it worked out all around. But there you go. That is him, and he's all done. I look forward to showing you the paint job later. That's why he's already primed. But anyway, if there's a model you'd like to see, let me know, and I'll put it on the list. Otherwise, this is Robert with Society Case Files signing off.